Hey, so welcome back, everybody, to Volume 2 of Flip the Script. This is where we sit down with the man, the myth, and the legend himself, Kyle Seyboth, because he's always graciously interviewing other people about how they build their business. And my friend, broker and friend is honestly one of the legends of this game. So we'd be remiss not to sit down with him and ask you some questions. So thanks for doing this with me again. After the last session, a few things popped up, a few more things I wanted to ask. So I figured we keep it rolling.
Let's do it.
Cool, bro.
Let's go.
First things first, congratulations, another great year. Our company last year, I know you're not into like end of the year stuff, but $687,491,235 in sales, 1,747 transactions. That's a whole company, all the office. Mm-hmm. Almost $30 million we improved year over year in a year when most of the offices slid backwards. Mm-hmm. So what do you attribute that to?
Flexibility and adjustments.
Okay.
I attribute it to, like, think about it as an athlete. You're an athlete.
Right.
You play the first half. You make halftime adjustments. Mm-hmm. First year, we ran the brokerage. Then we made adjustments year two. This year should be even better because I continue to foresee kind of what the real estate space is going to look like. What agent? I think the biggest factor is that it's a real estate company run by a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. It's not run by a bureaucracy. It's not run by a corporate structure where someone is sitting at the top and they're just literally looking at P&Ls all day and just looking at bottom line. It's someone that understands the game of selling real estate, looking at every agent and saying, how can we make the agents' lives easier? How can we make them more money? And how can we give them all the tools to be successful? And that's ever changing. And I think it's my ability to be flexible with the staff and the great staff and support system that we have in the brokerage to get to that point.
It seems like investment into infrastructure is a lot more possible when you have kind of robust revenues from also being an agent. So when we started building this company, you're the leader of it, and it stems from you down through the other offices, where because we have good revenue in our existing sales businesses, when we opened this thing up, we didn't say, oh no, like, you got a, 4,500 square foot facility for a mm-hmm. headquarters, mm-hmm. right?
4,400, yeah.
You did that at a time when most people were looking to cut back on their office space. When it comes to lead generation, marketing, film, the video work, sitting here today, doing stuff like this, it seems like that company built by an agent for agents kind of line, it translates into more revenue for building infrastructure so that we can continue to grow and support agents and allow them to be profitable. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's investing in the process. It's investing in the systems. It's investing in our people. It's investing in more people. It's investing in basically anything and everything that can put people in a better position. And I think that's the part that a lot of folks don't understand when they run a real estate brokerage. You're really not super duper profitable. Right? It does okay. If I were just relying on that on my main source of income, that's not what it's there for. But it's an ancillary business to what I already do that allows agents to really learn and grow and be better versions of themselves, whether it's professionally and personally, and then provide support. We added, we've got 7 or 8 different satellite offices right now within Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Mass. And I think those offices are really giving agents a place that they can call home, right? And whether they fit, if they're a good fit in your office, they may not be a good fit in mine. They may not be a good fit in Providence, but they're somewhere for them, right? And we just added a lead gen component to the business that I think is going to allow the partners to really, these partner offices to really flourish and grow. And I think that's a very, very important part. That I saw a hole in our brokerage, in our model that needed to be changed. Mm-hmm. I went for something that I know we needed, and that's why I did it. I did that because the one component I wouldn't have time to do on my own was put together a robust lead gen platform and program for agents in the brokerage that want it, need it, and desire it. Right. And I think that's the big difference.
So I feel like our shop, the way we look at it is there's certain things that agents want, and there's certain models that they want within a larger model, and a lot of times you can't be all things to all people, but I think when it comes to building a real estate brokerage, you kind of can. You can kind of say, like, look, how hard is it to have a great social culture, leads available for agents that want to be in kind of an accountability-based structure, great technology available to every agent who just wants to be in the company. For agents who are OGs who just, look, I already got my existing business. I sell 35 homes a year, but I just want the best place to hang my hat. Cool, we got you. It's not going to be a highly expensive brokerage to hang your hat at that point. It's going to be very cost effective for an agent looking for that model. For agents who are looking for great social life, great aspects of that. For agents who are looking to train, so it's like, why can't you build every aspect of a brokerage when you have some of the biggest producers in the state, led by yourself, all working together to figure out what agents need to be successful?
And that's what we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, is what we've done is we've said, if you're a team, you can be here. If you're an individual agent, if you're a part-time agent, if you're someone that wants to do 10 deals, if you're someone that wants to do 1,000 deals. The beauty of the experience that I have is I can teach people, whether you want to do 500 transactions or 5 transactions, I know what it takes to get you there. And I can help with the assistance of with everyone else and all the different partners that we have, provide the insight and the brainstorming techniques that we need to get to that point.
So wrapping up this part on this, because we go on this one all day, like building success for the company, right? But I think we're on the path to $1 billion in sales.
Mm-hmm. We would have been there, without a doubt, in my opinion, if the market had more inventory.
So that's our official goal, $1 billion in sales? Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Yeah, I no doubt we got to do it.
So there were a few things from our last conversation, changing gears, that I thought about, I wanted to highlight with some of our time. Getting down to more of just that was a big level, like top down the whole company, high level question, but bringing it down to like a smaller level. I wrote some notes from last time when I went back through it. And I wrote a note that I wrote conscientiously non-judgmental. So in other words, no judgments. You just look at people for who they are. You figure them out. Is that something that's helped you in sales? If so, how come?
That's the superpower.
Okay.
That's my superpower. My superpower is to be able to say, 10 people tell me Matt Patty's a jerk. I say, I don't care what 10 people said.
It's probably more than that.
No, I'm just saying. So think about it. 10 people tell me one thing. Yeah. This guy's a jerk.
Right.
I say, I don't care what you think. Every situation is different. I need to, for myself, figure out who this person is and how we can actually do or not do business together. And I think it's that open-mindedness that allows me to do things that other people would not do, and take chances and risks in different situations that are going to help me either, hey, some may be good, some may be bad, but at least I'm giving myself that opportunity to create my own opinion on a situation or a person. And I think it's the judgment that people come into situations with with already this preconceived notion of what something is or who someone is. I don't do that. I go into everything totally blind.
Would you say you're like a chameleon? Do you like that expression? You ever heard that one?
So I feel like that's what's helped me in sales is the chameleon. I can relate to anyone. I can relate to old, young, white, black, Spanish, every sort of race and every sort of age group, or male, female, it doesn't matter. It's the ability to be relatable and understanding of who they are, what they need, and what type of language we need to speak to them in.
Sitting on the stoop in the city, all the way down to the country, into the woods to wander around and look at somebody's well. Mm-hmm. I agree. That's one of the biggest things that I notice about you. Is just conscientiously non-judgmental. Whatever he said, she said, you got to look, you're more linear.
And I'm probably the one person that gets judged the most without people knowing me.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like there's a lot of folks that I talk to and I meet with and I get in front of, or I actually end up meeting at some point, and typically the one thing I hear the most is, you're nothing like what I've been told. You're not even close to the person that people tell me. And I'm like, oh, who told you that? And they'll bring up a name, and I don't even know the person.
Right.
And I'm like, I'd never met them in my life. And they're like, yeah, they said they know you, or they've heard of you. And I'm like, see, that would have stopped that conversation from even happening if that person was not, if that person was judgmental and didn't even give it a chance.
Right. Makes sense. You mentioned before as well about kind of like learning from your haters, you said last time. You're like taking that 1 or 10% or whatever it is and valid and using it to learn or improve, right? So
listen to it.
Yeah.
Understand it. Dissect it. Understand what that really is. There's something that they're going to say that has some truth to it. If you ignore it, you're not critiquing yourself the right way. Because if people believe it and see it, and you dissect and understand it, it allows you to be in a position where you can then say, either A, that's correct and I need to fix it, or B, that's totally off the wall, but the perception's still there, I need to fix this.
Is there, on that note, is there kind of a trait that you have that you know you possess that you feel has helped you develop the success that you've had, that as you know, I'm 40, I have a few in mind for myself, 41 now, that you almost want to change or refine at least within yourself? Is there
Patience.
Patience, okay.
Patience is the one trait that I need to refine. I need to be better at. Patience, and that goes across many, many avenues. It's the ability to step back for a minute, think for a second, not react, not overreact, not become angry, not become stressed and frustrated. I think patience is one of those factors that, as easy as that sounds, and as simple as it seems to be patient with someone, I think is very hard for me because I'm a very fast go person.
It's similar for me. I almost feel like it's unrealistically hard on myself, right? And that translates also sometimes to how I see situations, success, failure, things like that. And so there's a dichotomy in certain traits, I believe, like you said, with patience. Like that impatience probably helped you get where you are right now.
It did.
But now you look back at it, and as much as it helps you, it can probably create a liability for you sometimes.
Now. It can be a roadblock.
Yeah.
It can be a roadblock, it can be a liability, and I think at the end of the day, it's the power of awareness, of being aware of who you are, what people think of you, and the perception you have out there. To have that awareness of where you want to go and how you get there, I think is truly why patience for me is one of the big characteristics I need to be better at.
Let me know how you do with working on that.
Thanks.
So changing gears again, you mentioned last time about just kind of loving the process. You know, and we spoke a little bit, and I loved your response. I mean, I said, how do you stay motivated? What keeps you motivated? And you said, well, I would reverse that question. Why aren't you motivated? When it comes to that process of self-love, I mean, what do you love the most about what you're doing now? Like, what really gets you out of bed? What really gets you motivated, excited?
I think now it's just all the different things we have in the works, and the ability to try to conquer those things at once, right? To conquer multiple different business opportunities that are that in the end of the day, it could be a situation where we say, hey, look, we have now built a conglomerate from start to finish within the real estate space and these other spaces that we're in. And I did it on my own. I did it not my own. That's not the right way to say it. I did it from the ground up.
Right.
It started with zero. You know, you started from the bottom, you hear that nonsense?
With a lot of people who didn't know what they were doing until they learned.
Right. We really rode this thing up together.
Right.
With the foundation in every sort of business that we're in, and have been able, look what we've done. Like, look what we've accomplished. And I think that ultimately is the driver, is to say, okay, that was accomplished and that's really, really cool. Now let's go to the next one and let's do that. And then always have that next, what's next mentality. What's up next? What's next? What's next?
You mentioned before about having like 11 streams of income.
Yes.
Do you feel like when you build a model like that, are you kind of like vertically integrating? Is it like
1,000%?
Okay.
There's silos of income, right? So there's silos of income. There's the real estate related income, which fluctuates between the brokerage, my sales, some of the other ancillary businesses that I can't get into on here,
right.
That we have and we own and that we actually revenue share from, and then it gets into the hard money, the flips, the rentals, right? There's another silo of 3 businesses that tie together. Then we've got some stuff in the cannabis space that's going really well, and we've got manufacturing, transportation, and cultivation. Okay. So again, another silo, right? Then we do some trading stuff. Right, so we've got a lot of trading, like foreign exchange trading funds that we're invested in, that drive passive income. So It's looking at all these things in buckets and saying, this bucket is doing, this bucket brings in this bucket brings in that, this bucket, and then finding which ones need to be replaced.
When I read the book about Google, or actually Alphabet, they talked about devoting, I think it was 80% of your time to 80% of your revenue, or 90% of your time to 90% of your revenue, and 10% of your time to these things that were called like moonshots, where they're like, look, we're doing this really well, but because we have this ability to develop technology and develop software and develop all these different products for the internet, we also might be able to develop space technology. Or we also might be able to develop technology over here, things that are like moonshots. Do you ever look at it like that? Like, you don't know what the next business is that could expand, but you know things that would fall into a category that you can understand.
I have moonshots.
Yeah.
I've got some good ones right now.
Okay.
I think they're bigger than moonshots in the sense that I think they're closer to where I need to be. And I think with those, the beauty of those things is that, again, it's another challenge. But more importantly, I mean, this is a basketball analogy, but you can't make a shot if you don't shoot it.
Right.
So I take the shots.
Yeah.
I'm taking my shots, right? So I every single day, I'm out here taking shots. I'm shooting free throws. I'm shooting threes. I'm shooting layups. I'm doing right hand. I'm doing left hand. I'm
Mike and drill.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm crossing over. I'm behind the back. I'm in and out. Like, I'm taking shots every single day, and I think that's what's the difference between me and a lot of people. Is a lot of folks are scared to shoot the ball.
I think
they're scared they're going to miss.
I think it's good for agents who join our company too to know that we want them to grow into entrepreneurs.
Right.
We don't just want them to, like, if they want to have that entrepreneurial passion where they start. I mean, it's easy. You're a real estate agent. You should own real estate, first of all.
That's the simple transition.
Right. You should be invested into other tertiary businesses that you can eventually get cross promotion through your real estate industry. You should obviously, like you said, be at least involved in some kind of stocks or market-based, diversification.
Keep your mind open.
Right.
Everything's not a scam. Everything you do is not a scam. And like I have multiple investments that a lot of people wouldn't even touch because they'd be scared it was a scam. And I think that's the part. Not that they would just be scared. It's like anything out of the box people don't want to play with. There's a reason why there's only so few billionaires. Billionaires, for the most part, unless it's been passed down, have taken a chance. At some point along the way, they took a chance. They took a risk. I have a couple startups right now that are chances, but they're pretty darn good ones. And we've done a lot of work on them, and we spent a lot of time on them. And I think
and there's probably a reasonable expectation that it could pan out and be a major.
It could be nothing.
And then if it failed, you're going to lose your amount that you can afford to lose. Not like gambling. People will buy all sorts of stupid stuff, right?
Right. I mean, it's not like I went out and bought a Maserati.
Right.
I took this money and I invested in something. I mean, cash flow and the velocity of money is really the most important thing any entrepreneur can understand. Is that the more cash flow that I can generate, the more things that I can do. The more things that I can do, the happier I am. The happier I am, the clearer my head is. The clearer my head is, the more ideas I can come up with.
And people forget it's a community benefit. There's jobs, there's infrastructure, there's places to shop, there's things that are built.
And I partner typically on all this stuff.
Right.
And I think the beauty of that is when people say to you or say to me, oh, it's not good to have a partner because partners are going to, they're going to screw you, or they're going to be bad, or even marriage ends in divorce. Well, okay, does that mean don't get married? Like, what does that mean? Like, I shouldn't have a partner because 50% of partnerships fail? There's a reason they fail, and the reason that most partnerships fail is because people aren't on the same wavelength, right? So at some point, if someone starts to go into this different wavelength, right, or this different frequency, and the partner, whether it be their marital partner or their business partner, stays on a different frequency, then the two things don't jive, right? The electric currents aren't matching.
And sometimes it was still a win, too. I mean, you can work in business with somebody for 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
And you can go.
So what?
You go your separate ways. 10 years, you made X, Y, Z together.
So what? Right. So what?
Right.
It didn't work. But But did it really not work, or did it just have its time? Right. And it had its time, and that's okay. But people looked at it as failure. That's not failure. That's reality. Every deal and every situation doesn't work in perpetuity. Every deal has an end point.
Let's say experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted.
Experience, income. History, all that sort of stuff.
Right. No, it's been good chatting. I guess I know your time is limited, so I had one more question,
Go.
which I can leave with, which is, who do you think would win a one-on-one in basketball? No, I'm just messing with you. You
I
can't
mean,
answer.
that's
I got a bum knee, so
you got a torn ACL, bro. I'll bust your ass.
Right. So, what's the one piece of advice that you would give to anybody looking to get out of that 9-to-5 life and become an entrepreneur?
Do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. That's the one. As simple as that sounds, just do it.
It's funny. Sometimes people will be so concerned about the money they have, but you look at it, it's kind of like blood from a stone. I always feel like if you can figure out how to survive, make that next move, like when most of the real estate agents come to us, I tell them, look, keep your job, keep your full-time job, keep paying the bills.
Full-time job pays the bills is the part-time. So from 5:01 to midnight, you should be doing real estate.
Right, but you work your butt off, and you figure out a way to make that transition. And it's never going to look perfect. You're supposed to have 6 months reserves. You're supposed to have 12 months reserves. I didn't have that. You're supposed to flip a house. You should have X amount in the bank before you flip the house. I didn't have that.
That's called a spreadsheet warrior.
Yeah.
And too many spreadsheet warriors exist, and that's why there's a huge disconnect between entrepreneurs and W-2 employees, right? Because that spreadsheet or the book they read doesn't jive with what really happens in reality. And I think if you can understand that it's not going to be perfect and that you're going to have problems and there's going to be things that come in the way, you will be fine. Yeah. But my biggest advice, if you don't just do it, you never will. And if you never will, you'll live and I'm going to leave you with this. I think I'd rather live a life with no regrets than live a life, right, with no regrets on taking chances and things happening, than live a life regretting that you never took a chance.
Secret to getting ahead is getting started.
Let's go.
Let's go, brother.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate
Good
you.
job.